So Chairman Wontumi abusuya latest update on ne Exim Bank 30 million Ghana cedis frauder. It is oko defraudé Exim Bank. Court grante say one Attorney General ne Yoko. Omo nkonkwo tenase na negotiations enye adwuma plea bargain no abusuya court no ema ne emre bebre by ene latest update aba ne se chairman Wontumi chese plea bargain on court no anase on the Attorney General omkotena ase a omoye no abusuya ankwa ankosi ba bia enti no court no de aba say right now no ye ba be den ye ba be proceed on chairman Wontumi ne Exim Bank case abusuya enye asam keto akra enti sisi ano de emu ayeden de ama chairman Wontumi enti no court no schedule 14 days chese ode beshe chairman Wontumi ne trials on the Exim Bank case abusuya emu ayeden na sa Exim Bank case no ye the 4 charges and about chairman Wontumi sa causing financial loss to the state, money laundering ene abusuya 4 documents ene nyoma bia ekeka ho abusuya ene operation recover all loot omo de aba beto omo platform so say sisi ano court no ba be proceed and as omo ba be begin on chairman Wontumi ne Exim Bank case say omo relax ya omo ne chairman Wontumi omo ma chairman Wontumi ene the Attorney General chance say enka omo fanye negotiations no esi ebo so the ama chairman Wontumi eno ena ya project say the atu ye screen no enchen the ama court updates in Republic versus Bernard Enchibosiakon aka chairman Wontumi and 2 others, Exim Bank loan case. It has just been announced in court that no plea agreement was reached between Mr. Enchibosiakon and the Attorney General after the court granted extension of time for the parties to negotiate a plea deal as proposed by the accused person. Intino plea bargaining no abusuya chairman Wontumi na nkasa ene chese okoko hu the Attorney General and Yoko say wa surrender fraud ne de okoko defraud the Exim Bank bet obepese ne lawyer no ene the Attorney General ebe plea bargain na chese bibia to me akọ nanima abusuya after say chairman Wontumi na nkasa requested for plea bargain no plea bargain na ankwa nkosi aga enti eno ene da enti ento aso the court has therefore scheduled trial to commence and has ordered prosecution to file disclosures within 14 days. Case management conference is scheduled for Tuesday, 22nd September 2026 at 10 o'clock in the afternoon. 10 o'clock in the morning. The accused person, now prisoner, and 2 others are facing 4 charges, namely defrauding by false pretenses, altering of a forged document, money laundering, and intentionally causing financial loss to public body to the tune of 30 million Ghana cedis. Inti abusuya convicted chairman Wontumi no eno ene da ho no enya ade a chese ye tu emfutru edi agu ye audience na inti chairman Wontumi ne plea bargain no esi ebo so ede amano right now no ne trials no eba bekoso abusuya ye de ehonsem ebrema enye asem keto akra na ensem bi ekoso ewo political highway ni so yempese ye be breaking wa chairman Wontumi de ne latest update no eno ena ya project de ato screen no eso de amamom yanko na yankonko tie ensem bi a ekoso NPP afenyo markings ne case no ho nsensem no ensem bebre ena eboboba efriwa enye asam keto akra na parliament bibemuni ade mom yanko na yankonkoti na asa na ebeko Ghana ha se open computer papa and a laptop papa na we use abura perosi computers and accessories so and obenya laptop papa na we using the location enye ira kwan o Kumasi Bokrom Estate Eli peke number na egu your screen so na ade ba kwa de wo mne se okra low budget no obema high quality laptop na we use yembonra yensem ye ba
as well as the minority leader. Now the speaker also has come into the fray. How do we make sure this is expeditedly dealt with?
I think even Roland, before that, my brother had the opportunity to delve into issues of Còllàpsè, even though we're not talking about Còllàpsè. But one thing is clear, Còllàpsè continues to be a problem for this country. And the NDC government will not deceive or delude itself into thinking that it has been able to confront the matter. But clearly, the fact that it is not mostly at the forefront of our discussions today tells of a picture in terms of the commitment of this government. So maybe in the dictionary of the NPP, the NPP wants to create an atmosphere similar to what we witnessed when they were in power. So they are on a different trajectory. The good people of this country appreciate the steps of this government in that regard. That is why the atmosphere cannot be the same. And regardless of your conclusions, these are the facts. Now, on the issue of Gold Board,
the speaker says that they need to get to the bottom as well. OSP is on.
Yes, I think that is highly commendable. When I listen to the Chief Executive Officer of the Gold Board, he's granted a number of interviews, and he's indicated his willingness to appear before any investigative body in this country in relation to the so-called loss of $1.7 billion that the minority is talking about. And Roland, make no mistake, this should be of interest to all Ghanaians, regardless of our partisan persuasion. But we must not also lose sight of the implications of this particular drive. When I listened to the speaker, I got the sense that the speaker was looking for closure as far as this matter is concerned. But one thing is important for us to appreciate.
What's that?
Whichever way we look at it, this is not a loss attributable to Gold Board. And even the IMF in its report makes that point emphatically. And I have challenged people to go and read even the abstract of that particular report. It is there black and white about where the law sits. And you see, if there is a motion before Parliament to investigate the domestic gold purchase program, the domestic gold purchase program is not one under the offices of Gold Board. It is under the offices of Bank of Ghana. And so if there is going to be an investigation, and the Parliament deems it appropriate to invite also the Chief Executive Officer of Gold Board to bring clarity to the matters, who would stand on the way of Parliament in doing so? So it is commendable. This government has absolutely nothing to hide. But the Speaker must not end the directive there. Parliament, for its own integrity, must also be interested in the allegations leveled against the minority leader of Parliament, because he's part of the leadership of Parliament. So I would want to see Speaker proceed to also give directives in that regard. There's the need for that allegation to also be investigated so that we will know whether indeed our minority leader is one who believes in the politics of extortion or not. And we can collectively take a decision. So it is not a one-sided affair. I know that the likes of Solomon Owusu have filed petitions to the Speaker demanded an investigation into the allegation. The Speaker must give a direction as far as that is also concerned. But trust me, when it comes to the $1.7 billion loss or cost, this government and the Gold Board is more than ready to avail itself. We have already learned useful lessons. This is not the first time that the Bank of Ghana has made losses, as they would like to call it, at the back of the domestic gold purchase program. This is not the first time. We recorded losses in 2023. We recorded losses in 2024. Unfortunately, we are here because of the quantums involved now. And the IMF in its report has indicated that the quantum of 1.7 billion is as a result of the scaling up of the program. So what that means is that if the NDC government was doing similar figures like the MPP did between 2023 and 2024, the loss would have been in the region of about 3 to 4 billion, like 5 billion, like they recorded when they were in power. But now we have gone way beyond. $1.7 billion loss at the cost of 10.8 billion added to our reserves. That is historic since Ghana attained independence. And so there will be cost implications. And our argument has always been so that if you look at the 1.7 billion that they are referring to as a loss, it is actually the cost of our recovery. And that point has been consistently made even in the annual reports of the Bank of Ghana. And these were audited accounts, not by only our internal auditors, but external auditors as well. And so even if Parliament needs guidance, they can rely on that report, unless, of course, Parliament itself has doubts about the independence of our auditing agencies in this country, and also the external bodies. Like I said, they are not precluded from investigating. We welcome it, but we must not create the picture as though this has not been audited before. It has been.
But the IMF is very emphatic that the costs and its own interchangeably using costs and loss.
And loss.
That government needs to do something about it.
No. And government
and then even onwardly goes on to advise, for which the Ministry of Finance has, as a way of policy, gone on to also shift that onto the books of government, so to speak. That cost should not be borne by the Bank of Ghana.
Absolutely.
And subsequently as well, the cost needs to be reworked and reduced drastically.
Absolutely.
Do you agree with that?
I fully agree.
As a policy.
I fully agree. You see, even before the IMF came in, government had given the indication through the Minister of Finance. That's what birthed the Ghana program, intended to take away the cost of the gold transactions away from Bank of Ghana to that of Gold Board. And the processes have started. And if you read the IMF report itself, it has indicated that even in the first quarter of 2026, they have seen signals that the cost implications are beginning to come down. I hope you've read the report. The first quarter, the IMF itself in the report has said that, look, Gold Board has indicated, per the transactions so far, there seemed to be a reduction in the cost implications of the gold transactions. And it is commendable. So even prior to the announcement of IMF, this government already looked at the figure of 1.7 billion, and we're looking at ways to bring down that cost in the next financial year. That is what governance is about. It's about being proactive. It's about making sure that you bring the cost of doing government businesses down. And that is the objective of this government. We may not be able to resolve all the problems associated with many of the policies we inherited in a matter of 1 year, 6 months, or 7 months. But you cannot take away the sincerity of this government and its forthrightness when it comes to resolving challenges that were inherited. And so I would expect our colleagues on the other side of the political divide to understand that no matter how they try, this is not one that they can use to create a scandal. And I've always told them, especially those of them who are my friends, yes, I've always told them that if there's anything to learn from this NDC government that is led by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, you must learn that your political future will be defined based on how you interact with us. If you come to us with lies and propaganda, you would lose, especially Sami Jemfi. I can understand their concern for them. We must appreciate the politics of the NDC.
You think it's being targeted instead of...
I will tell you, not just targeted at Sami Jemfi. It is also targeted at what they believe to be one of the major success story of this government. And they did it in 2016, when they launched their so-called assault on the pillars of democracy. They know that one of the major successes of the NDC in opposition had to do with the work the likes of Sami Jemfi did. And they are beginning to appreciate that one of the major successes of this government in terms of the economic turnaround has to do with the activities of Gold Board. And it will be difficult for them to win the economic debate if they do not assault and discredit the work that is being done by Gold Board to ensure that our economy remains on track. And so for them, it is a political strategy. It is left unto us as Ghanaians to see beyond the political strategy of the MPP and know that they are seeking to erode the gains Gold Board is making, and they are also seeking to avenge, in their language, the sins committed by Sami Jemfi against them in opposition. But I can assure you that he is a gentleman who is solid. He is a gentleman who is focused on the job. And their own leaders, their political future may come to an end if they do not engage him on the basis of truth and seek to do so on the basis of extortion.
Parliament now supposed to investigate. Shraj has already written to, at least we know, Solo as one of the petitioners alongside Apia Dankwa, And then OSP also wants to take the zone as well, where we've reached so far. It's something we began last week. It looks like we're going to end the week same.
My dear
but
friend,
this time move to the next.
My dear friend, Solo is not here, so I don't want to get him. But what he and Apia Danko are doing, they are just seeking, what's the name? They're just attention seekers. They are just.
Have you read their petition?
I've read it. There's nothing. It's hollow. It's empty. They are seeking attention.
Their petition is hollow.
They've got their day in the sunlight.
Solo is not here. You're having a free time.
I said he's my friend. No, I'm just
talking.
Somebody, I know.
Somebody who's saying Ghana balance rough.
Yes, if he was saying he would jump on my throat, I know. But they're just attention seekers. Nothing. This one is very hollow. Today, this morning, I want to do something. I want us to look at a more academic, intellectual approach to this Gold Board, Bank of Ghana, brouhaha. And one of the best ways to look at this is to look at it through the lenses of what is known as principal agency theory. Principal agency theory is one of the most popular theories in public administration, economics, that every student studies. The fundamental premise of that theory is this. When one person, in this case the agent, hires another person, when one person, the principal, hires another person, the agent, to do work for them, their interests might not align. And precisely because their interests might not align, the activities and the interests of the agent may harm or hurt the principal. In this case, the principal here becomes the Bank of Ghana. There are chains of principals. Citizens are principals, 1, 2. Government can be principal, ministers can be principal agency, but you can have a hierarchy of them. I want to look at the Bank of Ghana as a principal. Hires, agent, Gold Board to do the activities. The very premise of the story is that the interest, in this case, the interest of the Bank of Ghana and the interest of the Gold Board might not align. And one of the main reasons is that the agent knows more and may act for himself. The truth is the agent may know more. And there are 4 main ways.
You move the argument to principal agent theory.
Yes. I want us to understand. We've done the political rhetoric. I want us to look at it because maybe there are students watching to understand why we say these losses, you put it within the context. One, they said there are 3 main ways. And one is this: information asymmetry. The theory says that the agent, may knows the real issues. The agent has more information than the principal. Bank of Ghana provides the funding to what? Gold Board. But Bank of Ghana doesn't know the real art and act of buying the gold from the small artisanal workers. So the real nitty-gritty of the work is done by what?
Dr. Zato, the Bank of Ghana told you this?
I'm saying that I'm trying to understand this through an intellectual, through a theoretical lens. I'm applying the theory to a real case. Can I do that?
I'm doing it. I'm not entitled to ask you a question.
No, but I'm telling you that. And so I'm telling you.
Because this one, you're saying that the principal agent theory, we all understand.
So let me apply it. Then when if I'm wrong, you tell me. In this case, it wasn't the Bank of Ghana that was buying the gold. No. It was Gold Board that was buying it. And
but the Bank of Ghana, as a principal, knows that its agent
is buying gold for them. Yes, agree.
And we all know the structure and the tiers of buying the gold.
Thank you.
That has been and communicated and known by the principal of the Bank of Ghana. So what are you saying?
The Bank of Ghana was not the one buying the gold. The agent, Gold Board, was the one actually in the market buying the gold. So they know more about the gold.
But that is why Gold Board is the agent. Because the Bank of Ghana cannot go into the business of buying the gold.
The second issue is what we call adverse selection. The principal might pick the wrong agent to do the work. The Bank of Ghana picked a wrong agent to do this work. By picking Gold Board, did they pick the wrong agent? I will argue that the fact that as a result of picking this agent, that it now sits $1.7 billion that sits on their books, they picked the wrong agent. Because if they had picked because the Bank of Ghana did not start this policy by saying that let's make a $1.7 billion loss. No. They picked an agent that will help them at least not make a loss, but at least make some positive returns. The fact that at the end of the day, that you pick the agent and through the activities of the agent that you made a loss meant that they picked the wrong agent. Number 3, moral hazard. After hiring, agent takes hidden actions that benefit himself, not the principal. That's what the theory says. In this case, you've seen that. The activities of the agent have benefited Gold Board and not Bank of Ghana because Gold Board says that we undertook these activities. As a result, we have made a profit. That's what Gold Board. But Bank of Ghana, you have made a $1.7 billion loss. You see what I'm going with? So in other words, they are saying that even if you bleed on Ghana, the activity says that because you picked the wrong agent And because the agent has now had a narrow mind to make sure that their books look good, better than your books, then in that case, they've done that. My point, at the end of the day, either through actions or inactions, no matter how you bisect it, select it, dissect it, it comes through. The activities of Gold Board has contributed to this loss. They made the loss because they were the agent of Bank of Ghana. And as an agent, the activities directly led to what? The loss of this amount of money. So we can say that as a principal, they demonstrated that they were the wrong principals. As principals, they demonstrated they were competent enough to do this. And as a principal, their activities directly led to this loss. So you can say, you can use any accounting gymnastic, you can use any accounting to say that where it stays or where it lies, where it can do that.
Am I allowed to come in now?
Why not?
Okay. So we had the gold purchase program.
Brilliant.
And then it's supposed at the time that the announcement was made by the Akufo-Addo Bawumia-led government.
Thank you.
Because of the outflows of foreign currency in the purchase of oil, we said that we wanted to reduce risk and exposure.
Yes.
And so that was undertaken. And the intent was that you wanted to make sure the CD was performing or would perform better or appreciate against the US dollar, particularly because it's the major trading currency.
Yes, yes.
And by 2024, there was a loss of 400.
Yes.
Okay. But also the intent of the policy is also for monetary or even as well as fiscal stability as well. And then you create the reserves, being two as well. So for the principal, which is the Bank of Ghana, based on your theory, the intent...
It's not my theory.
This is a theory,
Yes,
and
yes.
you are
Based on the
applying
okay.
to
Thank you.
your opinion and observation about how the principal BOG,
yes,
as well as the agent Gold Board, used to be PMMC, have operated. Is that not the case?
Yes.
Okay. So the intent of the principal at the time was not only to make profits, but also to make sure they shore up some key indicators, i.e. fiscal, monetary, forex losses, reserves for the Republic of Ghana.
Yes.
Due to our history, dating back circa 21, 22, when we went in the wheelchairs as well as the emergency table to the IMF. Okay. So if that is the case, would you agree that the principal's own objects or intents for this structure of buying gold or doing the substitution or the barter in itself was not only to make profits, if it was supposed to make at all, but also for the others as well, create the reserves, shore up the CD, etc.
Thank you very much. And this one will say the God of His Excellency Dr. Bawumia is a living God. May the good Lord continue to give him good health and good wealth. Earlier this year, or when they just came to power, they tried to take away any vestige of what? Appreciation for this policy, for the domestic gold purchase program. Even though when they came into power, there was record number of what? Gold reserves and the national that can be directly attributed to this. Communicators of the NDC went into overdrive to deny that brilliant economist and that brilliant young man, his son, Dr. Bawumia, and the creativity of this policy. They went to to do that. So
is that your response to my question?
Yes, I'm coming there. So
abusuya we ne ensema ekọ so political highway so chairman Wontumi 30 million Exim Bank case latest update any area abrem. Ebeda mase samo jepene kokotiza ensemo yere maya ha gossip politics TV so.